I want to present about operations management. Operations management involves the planning, scheduling, and controlling of activities which transforms input into finished goods and services. For example, for organizations that provide specialized health services to children, its success operations management has a direct impact on the organization's ability to provide services with specific quality standards in quantity. The most effective planning for the operations management of any company must be carefully integrated with the roles of strategy and financial planning. It is very important for operations planning to be in line with strategic planning, as operations management involves determining the tasks and technologies needed to fulfill a strategic objective, decide to obtain resources, plan the tasks required, and measure operational capability to achieve the intended target. The main activities of operations management include job design, scheduling, materials management, capacity management, facility management, and quality management. Operations management emphasizes the conversion of input into output using physical resources to meet the current customers' desired utility and the objectives of other organizations. The main objective of operations management is customer service. For example, to utilize the resources of the organization to create such products or services that meet the needs of consumers by providing the right goods at the right price, place, and time. Next, for the main objective of operations management is resource utilization. For example, to make the best use of organizational resources to meet the needs of users is another important objective of operations management. We study operations management because we want to know how goods and services are produced. Apart from that, to understand what the operations manager is doing in detail.
First, we will be discussing about company background. It will consist of company profile, the history, and the company product line. Proton Holdings Berhad is a Malaysian automotive company and automotive mobile corporation active in automobile design, manufacturing, distribution, and sales. Operative in automotive industry in Malaysia. Proton also have two of the biggest factory in Shah Alam, Selangor and Tanjung Malim, Perak. Proton company headquarters is currently located at Shah Alam. Proton was established on May 7, 1933. It was the first Malaysian car manufacturer. Its creation was the idea of Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad, the then Prime Minister, to achieve the aspiration of Proton produce the first model of the Proton Saga in July 1985 in Shah Alam. Tun Dr. Mahathir is the first person to buy the Proton Saga and gave the car to his wife, Datin Sri Dr. Siti Asmah, with the plate number of registration Proton 1001. From time to time, Proton now has produced more than 30 models of cars, and its latest model is Proton X70 and Proton X50. Proton X50 is the latest car model from the company that was launched on 27 October 2020. This model is the second SUV from the brand after X70, almost entering 4 decades in 2 years. Here are some car models that was produced over the years. The figure is showing some of the famous car.
Operation system of operation management. Operation management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling resources in order to produce goods and services. Operation system is a system of a set of independent components designed to achieve a set of objectives. There are 4 components of operation system, which is input, transformation process, output, and feedback. Input is the resources needed to produce goods and services, for example, raw materials, labor, machines, money, and energy. Next, transformation process. The process of transforming input into output through a series of value-added activity. As an example, teaching, baking, and cooking. Output, the end result of the operation such as the goods and services. Last, feedback, a control mechanism which evaluates performance against standard. For example, customer compliment on well-cooked meal and customer complain about the hotel service. Okay, the operation system of Proton Holdings. Operation system is an important component that been designed in order to achieve the company or organization goal. The first component in the operation system is the resources. Resources are needed by firm to produce a good and service with high quality. As for Proton Holding, the major resources that needed is a vehicular component and part and vehicular gadgetry. Next, the second component is the transformation process, which involves the activity of transforming the input through a series of special and specific processes to produce an output that can be provided to the customer. As for Proton Holding, the vehicles such as cars are made by putting the vehicular parts and components together. All the vehicular gadgetry will also be used as the vehicle accessory to complete the product design. After that is the output. Output is the result or outcome of the first two components of operation system. The output for Proton Holding is the automotive that be made in the transforming process. Last but not least, the feedback. Most of all, this is the important part which the company can evaluate whether their product can be used and have a value in the market. Proton Holding get their feedback from the customer through the selling process when they can test drive the automobile that they been produced and when the customer are giving compliment or complaints on the company website. It is guaranteed that customer comment will be a key for Proton to improve and upgrade their product and make a better product.
Now, let's go to the two aspects of the Proton operation management. We are choosing product design and process strategy. Product design is a process of creating new products for customers. We can also define product design as effective and efficient generation of ideas through a process that needs to design for low manufacturing costs. Process planning for manufacture must be carried out to specify the process required and the sequence of the process. In operation management, there are 5 phases, which is innovation phase, introduction phase, growth phase, maturity phase, and decline phase. Now, let's go to the first phase, which is innovation phase. The idea to create a national car is come up by our former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, where it will lead Malaysia in the future as an industrialized nation. Besides that, the project of creating Proton Saga was possible with joint venture between Highcom and Japan Mitsubishi. In order to produce Proton Saga, there are a lot of research and development activities were taken to complete. When it comes to develop a new vehicle, it was very complex and highly detailed process as to create a quality product. In research and development (R&D), there are 6 sections, which is vehicle platform, prototype center, powertrain engineering, homologation and testing, engineering, development and services, and engineering research. Now, let's go to the introduction phase. Perusahaan Otomobil Nasional Sendirian Berhad Proton was founded in May 7, 1983 as Malaysian sole national car company. Proton had produced their first project car, Proton Saga, where it officially launched in July 1995 and it was priced at 70,575 ringgit Malaysia as the cheapest new car in the market. Proton Saga was produced just 700 units of vehicle as Saga supply were low. The car sold very quick and Proton was unable to meet the public demand as Proton Saga has become an instant hit in Malaysia and the most popular car during the first 2 years after its launch. Furthermore, the project of Proton Saga had costing too much, which they have been criticized as the costing cost was about 1.5 billion ringgit Malaysia. The specification of Proton Saga need to improve as it's not completely perfect as the budget of car, and improve it to fulfill customer demand for a better product, and it need a lot of cost to do research and development on a product. Next, we go to the next phase, which is growth phase. As Proton Saga had launched, Proton started to gain a public demand as the Malaysian first car and the beginning of the Malaysian automotive industry. Until now, we can see how much product Proton has produced. However, Proton had shown their growth performance as Saga lead 64% in domestic market share in the below 600cc segment. In the same year, in 1986, Proton's first made into export market when Bangladesh receiving the Proton Saga on September 26, which followed by New Zealand, Brunei, Malta and Sri Lanka in 1987. Proton had approached the European market on 11 March 1988, which launched the Proton Saga in Ireland. Also, they managed to launch the Proton Saga in the United Kingdom as they proposed for their large scale with over 100 dealers. Until now, Saga is one of Proton's longest running and the best selling nameplate with over 1.8 million units produced over 35 years and globally approached the market of Proton Saga.
Okay, next is the maturity phase. Till now, Proton Holding is one of the companies that are still making a good progress in producing a good local brand car. Even though they are competing with another great company, Proton continues to design and build cars as it helps shape the landscape of Malaysia automotive industry, while it aims to grow big internationally. After making the country's first national car, Proton Saga, in 1985, which this year was marked as a glorious momentous year in Malay history, Proton Holding continue to produce their glorious new branded car. Today, with the collaboration of their strategic partners, they are able to produce more than 10 models. One of the current most popular models of Proton Holding are Proton X50, Proton Iris, Proton X70 and many more. Having to compete with the import companies such as Toyota, Hyundai, Ford and many more, they are doing their best to reduce the cost but able to produce some great design car with special features that will have value in the market. They are trying to compete in the market by producing cars with high features but affordable to most of the average people. On the other hand, Proton Holding also make a big name in the automotive industry on the worldwide. This can be proved by the fact that there are Proton models that are used in the British Touring Car Championship. For example, the BTC-T Proton Impian of Team Petronas Syntium Proton at Knock Hill Circle, Scotland, and Daniel Welsh NGTC Proton Persona at BTCC Snetterton GP, England. One is the decline phase. After the growth of Proton Holding, it is not deniable that there are a lot of competitors for this company, and the most nearest competitor company that is in the Malaysia automotive industry is the Proton. Proton is also the local company. Both of these companies have to convince their customer that their product is much more better than the others. Having this issue is just started case for Proton, as in 2017, their CEO had announced that their manufacturing cost was high, and based on that, they need to cut their manufacturing costs by 70%. This issue had given some stressful time for this company. However, in the mid of the year, they found some solution that can manage their costs and maintain their company stable. In the month of June 2017, they had made a collaboration with Geely Automobile Holdings. Since that year, they managed to put their company out of danger zone and able to produce a few models that are recognized as one of the Proton's biggest projects. They are able to produce two new models in 2019, which is Proton X50 and Proton X70. These both models are well designed and highly featured. Some state that these models are having the same standard as the import car. In 2020, Proton Holding itself had made a statement that their sales are increasing greatly in that year. Proton closed 2020 on a high with an increase in sales over its landmark performance in 2019. Despite losing over 2 months of car production and sales to the MCO, the company sold 109,716 vehicles for the whole of 2020 after shifting 13,306 units in December. This 2020 total represents an increase of 8.8% over the 100,821 units sold in 2019, making the Proton the only major automotive company to record growth in Malaysia. Market share for this year also increased to an estimated 21.1%, equating to a significant 4.4% increase. But still, Proton always strives to continue improve their performance and aiming to do better in the future. Development, or known as R&D. In product design, it can fulfill customer demands for a better product. Besides that, it can create more expertise and improve their capability in product design. and R&D can create more profitability and improve market share as the effective and efficient of product design. The research and development objective is to fully improvise the standard of living of a nation, and this is why R&D is a guaranteed benefit. R&D can improve the quality of the product, whether the product can become more durable and reliable. On the other hand, for disadvantages of R&D, it is need to use huge expenditure as to do more research and development as to create an effective and efficient product to consumer. Like Proton, or making Saga, which cost about RM 1.5 billion as to develop the national car, and still a lot of process needed to incur as to improve the product credibility. This is a risky move because it uses higher expenditure, but the outcome also can give a big number of profit or losses. However, for Proton Holding, they surely succeed to gain profit as the new project of Proton Saga are gaining quite positive feedback in the market.
Chapter 3: Process Strategy. What is process strategy? Let's start with the first set of slides. Process strategy is basically one of the most important things that must be made in managing process. This is due to achieving competitive advantages by taking concern of the company ability to use resources available and to produce outputs. The process determines the efficiency and effectiveness of an organization in producing the outputs. Proton Holdings Berhad Process Strategy. Proton has been famous with their famous collaboration with Mitsubishi Motors from a Japanese multinational automotive manufacturer. Mitsubishi has its own place worldwide in the automotive industry. Proton has taken a good job in taking part into the collaboration. Their first car was Saga, which is based on 1983 Lancer Fiore sedan. Proton Holdings Berhad apply repetitive focus which are modular. This consists of components previously prepared in continuous process. This will allow more customization. They produce product in medium value. This type of process strategy is very low on when in terms of product flexibility because of it have a standardized model and cannot do much on customization. Repetitive focus is the most suitable process strategy to be applied.
For the recommendation on product design, our group has suggested to Proton Company that they should perform their own research and development product design in the future. In order to be acknowledged by a worldwide of automotive industry, Proton Company should run their company independently without collaboration. Next, Proton can cut their costs when they are designing their new product with their own idea. To achieve this, in the future, they can send their workers to gain more knowledge and experiences of technology in automotive industry. By this, Proton could possibly compete with other bigger companies in automotive industry. Besides that, on process strategy, we are recommending to Proton Company to start produce car that using electric instead of fuel. Electric vehicle is gaining more positive feedback in the worldwide market as people becoming more concerned about climate change. This car is one of the products that can save the environment by reducing the air pollution. If Proton can produce this type of car, they will be the first automotive company in Malaysia that produce fully functional electric car. Along with this production, it will lead to a new era of automotive industry in Malaysia. So, the world can accomplish the target of being the world without car that using fuel. In conclusion, we can see that Proton are very consistent to produce car that give more benefit to the future until now. And to produce a new product like car is very complex and need a highly detail of the process making as to provide a quality product to customer. And Proton has given a highly on focusing on research and development. From this, we have learned and understand how Proton operation system develop a product that meet the specified standard at affordable cost.